a little news out of Boulder last week, and so we're not breaking anything here, Drake, but we are talking about Coach Prime, his extension, being one of the higher paid coaches in college football. Did I miss something? Because I was sure, based on message boards and Twitter and haters and hot takes, that he was gone. Isn't Travis? Is Travis Hunter coming back? Is George Sanders coming back? When I was told when his boys are gone, he was out of there. But now he's got a 5-6 year extent. Like, well, tell me about what's going on. Did they make a mistake? Is it the wrong Deion Sanders, or what's going on?
This is the coolest thing you could possibly ask for Colorado, for Deion Sanders, to have a guy like Coach Prime. The lottery ticket still in. This is what it is. It's like if you pressed a slot machine and every time you pulled the lever, you automatically got $100. And the lever is kind of unlimited until the slot machine wants to leave the casino on its own. And I think that you're paying enough now that Deion Sanders will keep his slot machine in Boulder. And to be honest, I don't know if he needed this kind of money. I don't think Deion is in it for the money. He's got plenty from Aflac and from his NFL playing days and from speaking engagements. This is not about being the richest man in college football. I think Deion Sanders will take this and give back with it. The Deion will take this and say, hey, this is more so security than it is this financial thing that I'm going to just reap and pull in so many dollars and get a nicer pool and a nicer house. No, this is about growing a program on stability and both parties knowing that Deion Sanders is here to stay. And the buyout is going to be so large now, 5 years, $54 million, so large now that it's going to take a struggle for a Nebraska or an Auburn to fire its coach, pay that buyout, and then pay for Deion's buyout. How much are you willing to dole out? And what are you willing to put into Deion Sanders? So now both parties are agreeing, hey, we're going to make this work, and the goal is to make it work long term. And this lottery ticket doesn't just affect Colorado. This is a very strong presence, a public figure who has walked in and completely changed the economy in a city, who has completely changed the economic value, the valuations of a university with Colorado. Their admissions are skyrocketing right now. Everything's centered around that city. Even in Denver, Deion Sanders has become the number one show in town. They're selling out the stadium. People want to see him. They want to see the spring game. He is a star in college football, even if ESPN's not talking about him near as much today as they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Deion is such a moneymaker for your university and for your town, and that must be emphasized. But TJ, we can get into it. There is that question. Well, the guy hasn't won a conference championship. He hasn't won double-digit games. He's lost two of his best players. Is this a decision predicated on wins or predicated on finances?
Well, I'll answer it. We'll pass it back to me and we'll play a little hopscotch here. But when you think about where they were just 2 years ago, coming off of one win, and then you go to four, which was underwhelming for sure. Not really unimpressive when you look at the entire scope, but underwhelming in Coach Prime's eyes, I'm sure. And then you get to 9 with a chance to be in the college football playoff, with a chance to, outside of a tiebreaker, be in the Big 12 championship game. And you do show that proof of concept, that growth. I mean, I do think it's warranted. I mean, we've seen coaches, Wisconsin just extended their guy after going 5-7. Oklahoma extended their guy and they haven't had a winning record yet. So I do think that it's a big deal for that. But I think it also, and I want to get your take on this, I think it also shows a little bit of, hey, they're okay trusting the process. There may be a step back this year. There may be a little bit of a regression when you lose some of the guys they lose or lost, and you do have a new quarterback. You've got different weapons that you're going into, but it's not just about this year. It's not like, oh man, you went 7-5 or you went 8-4, you took a slight step back, you're out of here. It's, man, we trust what you're building, and it's not just a team. We trust that you're building a program, Coach Prime, and so yeah, we'll see what this year looks like. It's early in spring and we don't really have a great idea, but we trust what you're building for the long term, and that's what this says to me.
Yes, and it says, hey, if you don't win 10 games this year, if you win 6 games this season at Colorado, we trust you. Mm-hmm. We're okay. We want you to be our coach moving forward. We want you to be the figurehead that represents Colorado. We want you to be the face of the Buffs. And honestly, if there's one figure who's the face of the Big 12, it's Deion Sanders. This conference needs Deion Sanders. If I'm Brett Yormark, I'm calling Deion saying, look, if it's money you want, if it's fame you want, whatever you want, we are going to help you get it. We are going to help you stay in Boulder, which I think there's like some tampering stuff there, and you probably can't do that. But the goal would be for everyone involved in the Big 12 and Colorado Colorado in that camp to keep him there, whether he's winning or losing, with the idea that, hey, if he goes 6-6 next year, which I don't think he will, but if he does 2 years from now, 3 years from now, huge athletes, big-time prospects still want to play for him. They still want to be in that program, and they want to call themselves students of Deion Sanders' game. They want to be coached by Deion. So it's a trust in him to win games moving forward, but a trust that even if he doesn't, he's going to be a stand-up example, a great example of what college football should be today for all the student-athletes that come through there, and a flagship for this conference, a flagship for that university that keeps Colorado on the map squarely, because prior to him, they had 2 winning seasons out of 16 years. He walks in, has one within his first 2 years, and I think he's going to have another one next year and the year after that, and put his team in a position to win national championships. Yes, I said national championships, because who doesn't want to play for Deion Sanders? I mean, genuinely, I know Eli Drinkwitz can walk into a living room and smooth somebody. And I know that Lane Kiffin can walk into a living room and smooth somebody. And they are great talkers and they come play in the SEC. But then Deion Sanders walks in. The guy who played in a football game and a baseball game on the same day. You know, Deion Sanders walks in, the guy whose son will be a top 2 or 3 draft pick in this year's NFL draft, the guy who coached the Heisman Trophy winner at Colorado, the guy who can be your meal ticket when it comes to NIL and your meal ticket when it comes to being drafted into the NFL. When that guy's in my living room, good luck saying no. He's going to be able to build a roster, even without a championship ring on his finger at Colorado right now, build a roster that has the school at that level.
Quickly, before we wrap up on Coach Prime, this isn't really the crux of our video, but I know you've probably talked about this, but just give me your 60-second take on the NCAA putting the kibosh on the spring game fun that could have revolutionized our sport in the spring.
Just another feather in the cap. Just another feather in the cap of me hating the NCAA. I don't know. Put the devil horn logo back down there. What you got it? Gosh, dang. That anytime we have something good, the NCAA says, nope, no fun for you, cancel it. And they've done that here with Deion and the idea of having a spring game where you bring in Syracuse. So while everybody else in college football is being a pansy right now, canceling their spring games altogether because, they're going to scout and recruit and steal our players in the transfer portal. Deion Sanders is doing the opposite, trying to revolutionize something that's kind of a dying thing in college football by bringing in another school and doing a training camp. You know, you see the Colts face the Jaguars in their training camp, and this would have been the same thing, bringing the NFL to college football. And of course, because the idea was so good, the NCAA said no. And so could have been a massive moneymaker for both involved, a big piece of exposure for Syracuse, who does it the right way as well. And the NCAA just hates nice things, so they said, let's not do this. And I'm hopeful that if we do ever break off, the NCAA relents some control, that this could be a thing that Deion Sanders spearheads in the future.
Yeah, love the innovation, hate the NCAA. So
today's show is brought to you by Supply House. As someone who just bought their first house, Supply House has been massive for me to feel like I'm not behind. HVAC to plumbing to electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online and get them fast. Over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands. Find exactly what you need. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for that extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Now it is your turn. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. Start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with more. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Go to supplyhouse.com.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.